Hello, once again. Welcome back to Tapinator. We are reading The Lightning Thief by Riordan. We are in Chapter 3. Let's get started. Alright. She smiled as soon as I get changed. I couldn't believe it. My mom and I hadn't been to Montaku for the last 2 summers because Gabe said there wasn't enough money. Gabe appeared in the doorway and growled, "Bean dip, Sally. Didn't you hear me?" I wanted to punch him. But I met my mom's eyes and I understood she was offering me a deal. Be nice to Gabe for a little while, just until she was ready to leave for Montaku. Then we would get out of here. I was on my way, honey, she told Gabe. We were just talking about the trip. Gabe's eyes got small. The trip? You mean you're serious about that? I knew it, I muttered. He won't let us go. Of course he will, my mom said evenly. Your stepfather is just worried about money. That's all. Besides, she added, Gabe won't have to settle for bean dip. I'll make him enough 7-layer dip for the whole weekend. Guacamole, sour cream, the works. Gabe softened a bit. So, this money for your trip, it comes out of your clothes budget, right? Yes, honey, my mom said. And you won't take my car anywhere but there and back. We'll be very careful. Gabe scratched his double chin. Maybe if you hurry with that 7-layer dip, and maybe if the kid apologizes for interrupting my poker game. Maybe if I kick you in your soft spot, I thought, and maybe if you sing soprano for a week. But my mom's eyes warned me not to make him mad. Why did she put up with this guy? I wanted to scream. Why did she care what he thought? I'm sorry, I muttered. I'm really sorry I interrupted your incredibly important poker game. Please go back to it right now. Gabe's eyes narrowed. His tiny brain was probably trying to detect sarcasm in that statement. Yeah, whatever, he decided. He went back to his game. Thank you, Percy, my mom said. Once we get to Montaku, we'll talk more about whatever you've forgotten to tell me, okay? For a moment, I thought I saw anxiety in her eyes, the same fear I'd seen in Grover during the bus ride, as if my mom too felt an old chill in the air. But then, her smile returned, and I figured I must have been mistaken. She ruffled my hair and went to make Gabe the 7-layer dip. My arm itches. An hour later, we were ready to leave. Gabe took a break from his poker game, long enough to watch me lug my mom's bags to the car. He kept griping and groaning about losing her cooking, and more important, his '78 Camaro, for the whole weekend. Not a scratch on this car, brain boy, he warned me as I loaded the last bag. Not one little scratch. Like I'd be the one driving. I was 12. But that didn't matter to Gabe. If a seagull so much as pooped on his paint job, he'd find a way to blame me. Watching him lumber back toward the apartment building, I got so mad I did something I can't explain. As Gabe reached the doorway, I made the hand gesture I'd seen Grover make in the bus, a sort of warding off evil gesture. A clawed hand over my heart, then a shoving motion towards Gabe. The screen door slammed shut so hard it whacked him in the butt and sent him flying up the staircase, as if he had been shot from a cannon. Maybe it was just the wind or some freak accident with the hinges, but I didn't stay long enough to find out. I got in the Camaro and found my mom to step on it. I got in the Camaro and told my mom to step on it. Our rental cabin was on the South Shore, way up at the tip of Long Island. It was a little pastel box with faded curtains half sunken into the dunes. There was always sand in the sheets and spiders in the cabins, and most of the time the sea was too cold to swim in. I loved the place. We'd been going there since I was a baby. My mom had been going even longer. She never exactly said, but I knew why the beach was so special to her. It was the place where she had met my dad. As we got closer to Montaku, she seemed to grow younger. Years of worry and work disappeared from her face, her eyes turning the color of the sea. We got there at sunset, opened all the cabin windows, and went through our usual cleaning routine. We walked on the beach, fed blue corn chips to the seagulls, and munched on blue jelly beans, blue saltwater taffy, and the other free samples my mom had brought us to work. I guess I should explain the blue food. See, Gabe had once told my mom that there was no such thing, and they had this fight, which seemed like a really small thing at the time. But ever since, my mom went out of her way to eat blue. She baked blue birthday cakes. She mixed blue smoothies. She bought blue corn tortilla chips and bought home blue candy from the shop. This, along with keeping her maiden name, Jackson, rather than calling herself Miss Ugliago, was proof that she wasn't totally sucked in by Gabe. She did have a rebellious streak, like me. When it got dark, we made a fire. We roasted hot dogs and marshmallows. My mom told me stories about when she was a kid, back before her parents died in the plane crash. She told me about the book she wanted to write someday, when she had enough money to quit the candy shop. Eventually, I got up the nerve to ask about what was always on my mind whenever we came to Montagu. My father. What? I got up the nerve to ask about what was always on my mind whenever I came to Montagu. My father. My eyes were all misty. I figured she would tell me the same thing she always did, but I never got tired of hearing them. He was kind, Percy, she said. Tall, handsome, and powerful, but gentle, too. You have his black hair, you know, and his green eyes. Mom fished a blue jelly bean out of her candy bag. I wish he could see you, Percy. He'd be so proud. I wonder how she could say that. What was so great about me, a dyslexic, hyperactive boy with a D-plus report card, kicked out of the school for 6 times in 6 years. How old was I asked. I mean, when he left. She watched the flames. He was only with me for 1 summer, Percy, right here on this beach, this cabin. But he knew me as a baby. No, honey. He knew I was expecting a baby, but he never saw you. He had to leave before you were born. I tried to square that with the fact that I seemed to remember something about my father, a warm glow, a smile. I had always assumed he knew me as a baby. My mom had never said it outright, but still, I'd felt it must be true. How to be told that I felt it must be true. Now, to be told that I had never been seen, that he had never even seen me. Wow. I felt angry at my father. Maybe it was stupid, but I resented him for going on that ocean voyage, for not having the guts to marry my mom. He had left us, and now we were stuck with smelly Gabe. Are you going to send me away again, I asked her, to another boarding school? She pulled a marshmallow from the fire. I don't know, honey. Her voice was heavy. I think we'll have to do something. Because you don't want me around? I regretted the words as soon as they were out. My mom's eyes welled with tears. She took my hand and squeezed it tight. Oh, Percy, no. I have to, honey. For your own good, I have to send you away. Her words reminded me of what Mr. Brunner had said, that it was best for me to leave Yancey. Because I'm not normal, I said. You say that as if it's a bad thing, Percy, but you don't realize how important you are. I thought Yancey Academy would be far enough away. I thought you'd finally be safe. Safe from what? She met my eyes, and a flood of memories came back to me. All the weird, scary things that had ever happened to me, some of which I had tried to forget. During 3rd grade, a man in a black trench coat had stalked the playground. When the teachers threatened to call the police, he went away growling. But no one believed me when I told him that under his broad-brimmed hat, the man only had one eye, right in the middle of his head. Alright, everyone, it's been 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you for coming to watch me again and listen to this amazing book, The Lightning Thief, by Riordan. I certainly do hope to see you next time. And if you like any of these videos, please remember to leave a like or a comment down below. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.